Thank you, Dr. Jane. Dr. Vanderhaar was a teacher here for a couple of decades. Teaching was very important to him. Students were very important. And an essential element of the Vanderhaar Symposium is the awarding each year of awards to students whose work embodies the ideals of peace and justice and community engagement. We have been very fortunate. The awards are open to students at all of the colleges and all the four-year colleges and universities in the area. And we have been fortunate at some remarkable candidates over the last several years. And this year's winning candidate was nominated by Dr. Jeffrey Gross, an assistant professor of English and Literature here at Christian Brothers University. And he has the honor of introducing this year's award winner and Peace Laureate.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Frankel, and to the committee for allowing me this opportunity. It is my honor to introduce the recipient of the 2015 Vanderhaar Student Peace Award, Derielle Flake. She's a sophomore history major here at CBU. As educators, I think those of us who teach often hope our students will grow in their time in college. And by the time they graduate, they're ready to be citizens who care deeply about social justice and who leave to change the world. That's how Taylor showed up on our campus. She was ready to lead from the start. I met Taylor during her first month of college when she came by my office to ask me to be a faculty advisor to a proposed new campus chapter of the NAACP. I was thrilled right away. From the fall of 2013 to September 2014, when the NAACP officially chartered CBU's chapter, Taylor put in countless hours to make CBU the first LaSallian University to have an NAACP chapter. For her work, her peers elected her as the chapter's first president. During her speech at the NAACP chartering ceremony, on this very stage, Taylor stated emphatically that CBU's campus chapter, quote, will stand for something, unquote. And she aligned the core values of the NAACP with the CBU's own LaSallian values. Since then, the NAACP has been active in promoting childhood literacy, food justice, civilian oversight of police, civil rights, and voter registration. Last fall, Taylor hosted Shelby County Mayor Luttrell, representatives from Mayor Wharton's office and the Memphis Police Department, and numerous civic and nonprofit leaders to discuss the challenges for juvenile justice and the needs for restorative justice programs in our community. The event was widely attended by members of the CBU and broader Memphis communities. Students left with opportunities for engagement. They learned where they could be mentors and tutors. In December, Taylor and the NAACP responded to events in Ferguson, Missouri, Cleveland, Ohio, in New York with Black Lives Matter Week, a series of events to educate interested students and to promote active, peaceful engagement. The week-long program included a fundraiser for the Ferguson Public Library, a peaceful class walkout and die-in, a teach-in and community dialogue on police brutality and systemic racism, and ended with a prayer vigil. The events drew hundreds of participants from the CBU community and numerous students from Lemoyne-Owen College, Rhodes College, and University of Memphis. It really was a community builder. Notably, Black Lives Matter Week also elicited negative responses from some members of the campus community, especially from students who misread the affirmation that Black Lives Matter as a negation of the importance of their own lives. Students defaced Black Lives Matter Week protesters, criticized the movement on social media, and even made more heinous pronouncements on Yik Yak, something I think we're all familiar with on our campuses, unfortunately. In the face of these microaggressions, Taylor demonstrated her leadership qualities and her commitment to smart, peaceful engagement. She emailed the campus NAACP members and asked everyone to remain both strong and focused on their goals. She implored students to avoid getting into arguments on social media and instead that the chapter would respond collectively and thoughtfully. At the first executive committee meeting following Black Lives Matter Week, Taylor charged her fellow leaders with thinking about positive ways to build bridges with other organizations on campus. The issues with which Taylor engages as president of the NAACP chapter on campus dovetail nicely with the legacy of Gerard Vanderhaar's commitment to peace, justice, and education. Professor Vanderhaar understood the importance of dialogue. He wrote, quote, "Respectful dialogue, in the interest of searching for more complete truth, is considerably more productive than arguing for the purity of position," end quote. Taylor Flake's leadership, her commitments to community and justice, and her belief in dialogue as a response to fear and injustice exemplify Professor Vanderhaar's values. And I'm proud tonight to recognize Taylor for the work she's done on this campus, for the dialogues she continues to promote as the 2015 Vanderhaar Student Peace Award recipient. Taylor, if you'll come forward, I'll read the prompt to you. I'll now present to Taylor her award and the plaque. The plaque reads, Gerard A. Vanderhaar Symposium Student Peace Award. In recognition and appreciation for her hunger and thirst for justice and pursuit of peace, this award is presented to Taylor Derielle Flake, a peacemaker working through active nonviolence in the spirit of Gerard A. Vanderhaar. Dated today, April 16th, 2015. Please join me in congratulating Taylor.
Good evening, everyone. As I stand before you today, I would first like to begin by saying that I'm extremely thankful to God who has guided and purposed me for the work that I've done, am doing, and will continue to do. I would like to thank my parents and my family for their constant support and words of encouragement. I would also like to thank the Vanderhaar Committee for allowing me to receive this award today. I'd like to thank Dr. Gross and Dr. Berg, two of my biggest cheerleaders at CBU, for believing in my vision just 2 short years ago when I stepped foot onto CBU's campus. I'd also like to thank organizations like the NAACP and the Mid-South Peace and Justice Center for giving young college students the support and resources to join in on the fight for justice and equality. These past 2 years have taught me that choosing to fight against injustices becomes easier when you have experienced some sort of injustice. When I made my decision to come to CBU 2 years ago, I made that choice for many reasons. But the most important of those reasons included that I knew for sure that no matter what, I never wanted anyone to experience the type of injustice that I had experienced. I chose to stay in Memphis because I knew that my work was not done. I knew that I couldn't stop all injustices around the world, but I knew that with the help of others, we, together, could work towards eliminating injustice. So I decided that the best way to do this was to team up with the oldest civil rights organization in the nation. Christian Brothers University's Collegiate Chapter of the NAACP received its charter in September of 2014. Since, we have worked as a unit to educate and advocate for justice and equality for all. Right now, our most interesting project that we have been supporting is the new amended ordinance for the Civilian Law Enforcement Review Board, also known as CLERB, created by Memphis United. Working on CLERB has truly been a learning experience that has taught us students how to effectively gather support to make real change. Next Tuesday, CBU's NAACP and other colleges and universities will join in to have our day at City Hall. This day was created with the purpose to introduce students and spark interest on local legislative process. Needless to say, CBU's NAACP has been hard at work these past 2 years. I like to look at everything that I'm involved in not as a check off the list, but as an experience. These experiences have taught me soon, in just a short amount of time, everything that I do is truly a learning experience, and it's an opportunity to grow. A wise woman once told me, "You must define your truth and live through it, no matter what anyone else says. If your truth makes someone else uncomfortable, then maybe they should reevaluate their truth." So, after hearing that little piece of advice, I decided to define my truth. I soon came to realize that my truth wouldn't be as hard to define as I initially thought it would be. So, here's my truth. There's no injustice too large or too small to fight against. But to fight against those injustices, you must be courageous, persistent, resilient, and strategic. You must have the ability to put self-interest aside and be comfortable with the fact that everyone won't always like the work that you do. You must work alongside others in the struggle and know that your work is not truly done until your last day on earth. For I, just like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that the unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word. As I close, I'd like to again reiterate my gratitude for the 2015 Dr. Gerard Vanderhaar Award. I would also like to encourage all of you to define your truth and work towards its fulfillment. Thank you.
Thank you. Didn't I tell you we have outstanding students? And I think all of those who are on the Student Awards Committee will echo when I say, as wonderful as Taylor Flake is, and she is. It was a hard decision because we have 4 finalists this year, students from other colleges and universities whose work has been truly outstanding. And I would like to tell you a little bit about our 4 finalists, and for those who are present, I'd like to ask them to stand. Is Stephanie Casper present? Stephanie Casper of Rhodes College has been a leader at Manor House, where she has participated in the works of hospitality and agitating for justice for people on the streets. Stephanie's also been a leader at Rhodes, where she has served as the Kinney coordinator for hunger and homelessness and organized events to raise awareness for those who are without adequate food and shelter. Damon Traore could not be with us today. He is a candidate for Mr. LOC, Mr. Lemoyne-Owen College, which is probably the highest student honor that anyone could achieve. And we have a conflict tonight with their evening. And if he were not present, he would lose his candidacy, and we don't want that to happen. So he has sent his regards to everyone and his thanks. Mr. Traore is from Conakry, Guinea. And while here at Lemoyne-Owen, he, like Taylor Flake, responded creatively to the tragedies in Ferguson and elsewhere in the United States. And in December, he organized a march from Lemoyne-Owen College, 4.5 miles away, up to Union and back. And given his international heritage, he invited the police to join with the protesters in a statement that all lives mattered, and as I understand it, there were signs up in Chinese and Spanish and French as well as in English. So it was a creative engagement for all of the community. He's also been a tutor and visited high schools trying to mentor and inspire students. And he has paid homage to victims of brutality everywhere. Francine Truitt, I believe, is here. Francine is also a student of the college. She served as a community liaison for Stepping in the Community Outreach in 2013 and 2014, where she provided necessary help and assistance and advocacy for the needs of underprivileged children in Shelby County, collecting donations, organizing fundraisers, seeking sponsorships. She's also hosted a teen summit held at Lemoyne-Owen College that focused on college readiness, positive self-image, and community enrichment workshops, and she intends to continue to engage proactively in helping the needs of this community, and particularly those who are the most underserved. Congratulations. Kevin Vieira, is he here? At Rhodes College, Mr. Vieira co-founded and helped lead the newly formed Society of Black Links, a proactive student scholar group that works for racial awareness and reconciliation from the standpoints of power and liberation. He's a scholar of African American studies, and I guess of African world studies. And he's also been involved with the Black Links in walkout peaceful protests to promote dialogue about acts of emotional violence committed against students of color. Again, thank you. Just the important part of it, one of the important parts is, in order to continue their wonderful work, these students will receive their cash awards. Dr. Jose Davila, Dr. Davila, would you stand up so they know who you are? He's somewhere here. He will be providing cash awards at the conclusion of the program. Again, I would like to ask us all, in the spirit of Dr. Vanderhaar and of all the educators and all the activists and all those with a sense of community responsibility in the room, we'd like all of our award winners to wave, and let's give them a big round of applause.